The WWE may have cooked up the greatest re-debut that we have ever seen in the history of professional wrestling. Now, before any of the old heads get mad at me, yes, Chris Jericho's return was one of the greatest re-debuts of all time as well. Let's get that out of the way. But what we saw on Monday Night Raw might be one of the greatest spectacles ever to end a wrestling show, and we have to talk about it. But before we get into the video, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel and you guys enjoy professional wrestling content, especially the WWE, make sure to ring that bell for notifications because you're not going to want to miss any of the future videos. And with that being said, let's talk about this Wyatt Sick6. For what feels like an absolute generation, we kept seeing the QR codes appearing on Monday Night Raws, SmackDowns, all over WWE television. We even saw some Twitch streams about this stuff, and everybody wanted to know what the heck is going on. The teasers went from having random messages to random pictures to videos to leading us to websites to having us have codes to having some weird command prompts that you could literally type stuff in and get responses to it, all the way to a timer, which led us to June 17th, 2024. Now, over the weeks, the WWE Universe did figure out that Uncle Howdy was who these teasers were for. And the last time we saw Uncle Howdy, if I remember correctly, it was either called the Blackout match or the Pitch Black match. I remember it was sponsored by Mountain Dew. And the last thing we saw of Uncle Howdy was him doing a 30-foot drop, Randy Macho Man Savage elbow down on LA Knight. He actually missed him, and most people said, wow, they really fumbled the ball on that Uncle Howdy character. And sadly, that would also be the last time we saw Bray Wyatt, as he had his tragic and unfortunate passing. And I don't want to get too sad about it, because every time I do talk about Bray Wyatt, I do get sad because I do miss the guy. I do think that he was one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling, and I do think that we are seeing a lot of his ideas, a lot of his story and culmination of what he wanted going down with the Wyatt Sick. So I do believe this is all a dedication to Bray Wyatt, and I do hope that it gets the love and deserve that it gets. But I do potentially want to make another video on Bray Wyatt in the future, but we're gonna put that to the side for now and just talk about the Wyatt Sick. So let's talk about specifically what went down on June 17th. Every single fan on planet Earth that was watching Monday Night Raw tuned in to see Uncle Howdy's return. Now, like I said, we saw a countdown timer on the last QR code that we had that pointed to this date. So everyone had an idea that something, some way was going to go down this Monday Night Raw. Now, we had a massive return, which I found very unexpected. It is literally my favorite wrestler of this generation, Seth Rollins' return to start the show. And I started to get a little worried here because I was like, there's no way that they're going to use Uncle Howdy to return by taking out Seth Rollins. Luckily, that didn't happen. But there was a certain picture circulating around that Uncle Howdy was watching down on Seth Rollins when he was in the ring. Now, this could be an altered picture. It was just circulating all over social media, so I did want to talk about it. But at that point, the hype for the guy just rose to levels we've never seen before. While I was live on Twitch, everybody said, you have to see this picture, you have to see this picture. And I pulled it up, and I was like, damn, Uncle Howdy literally is here. We also had Drew McIntyre quit the WWE during this episode. And when he quit and walked out, there was a special, image / thing that played over Drew McIntyre as he walked out of the show, and there was no QR code this time. It was just what looked like a silhouette of one of the characters. So at this point in the show, Chad Gable had a mystery opponent, which turned out to be Braun Strowman, and we all know that Strowman has ties to the Wyatt family, so a lot of people assumed that this moment might be the time that Uncle Howdy strikes. And in a previous teaser, there was noted there was a CG initials on it, which lead to either Chelsea Green or Chad Gable. Braun Strowman ends up winning this match, to which Chad Gable starts scolding the Alpha Academy in the middle of the ring, and a lot of people thought the lights are about to go out right now, but instead Otis turns on Chad Gable and the Alpha Academy leave. Chad Gable standing in the middle of the ring, and everyone said, this is it, this is it. Never happened. So as the show is going on, everyone is building up the anticipation, thinking, okay, if Uncle Howdy's returning, it's got to be happening soon because we're now up to the main event of the evening. We have the triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match between Finn Balor, Rey Mysterio, and Jey Uso. There was massive speculation that the Wyatt Six wanted to target Jey Uso because Jey Uso stole the Fireflies from Bray Wyatt. I haven't been a fan of the theory that the Fireflies was why Jey Uso is going to be targeted, because JoJo Offerman, who was Bray Wyatt's partner, said that it was cool that he took it. To her, it was an awesome homage to Bray Wyatt that somebody so over wanted to, you know, pay homage to her husband, her man, her partner, because to her, it's like, wow, like, you know, he's going to live on through somebody that every single week has all the fans with him. But there was one little phrase when he said that he is the yeeter of worlds that people thought maybe upset the Wyatt family and got them to be his first target. So the main event is playing out, and the Judgment Day ends up attacking Rey Mysterio during the match, which they obviously have history, to which Braun Strowman comes out and scares off the Judgment Day. To this point, we thought, okay, Braun Strowman is here, Wyatt Six, it's time, boom, boom, boom. Doesn't happen yet. Jey Uso ends up winning the match by pinning Finn Balor. There's about 5-6 minutes left on the show, and everyone is pretty much disappointed in my chat, being like, wow, I cannot believe that we did not get an Uncle Howdy return. To which Jey Uso is dancing in the crowd, up and down, hands, boom, boom, boom. And there it is. You hear the static, you hear the lights turn off, the power go out, and you see a door. That door was very familiar. If you don't remember Bray Wyatt walking out of the door with the lantern, everyone thought, wow, this is it. They're going to remake that moment. Boy, were we wrong. A strange figure starts crawling out like some kind of bug, some kind of, like, you know, insect. And to which point we all realized this was Nikki Cross, and she walks up to the lantern. She stands up and points to the back. The camera guy walks through the back, to which we see bodies laying on the ground, and one guy, which was the bunny with the hammer. On the hammer had the words help with that circle on it. Then the camera walks into the gorilla position, which I almost yacked at this part because there's literally blood everywhere, and I'm not the biggest fan of blood. But you have bodies all over the floor, and you have the one character with the, like, the beak, which I always forget that character's name, with the beak sitting in the corner. The camera guy goes through again, and there's another body laying around with another character. And then the camera guy keeps going, and Chad Gable is laying there to what looks like he got unalived in the middle of the gorilla backstage area. And out comes Uncle Howdy. All of these characters end up walking out together, walking out of the door, picking up the lantern, to which Uncle Howdy goes, "We're here," and blows out the lantern. And on the massive Jumbotron, it said Wyatt Sick6. Now, this is where we get on to what could be the cool details about this, and kind of like where we all have questions. The first question I have, are we pronouncing it the Wyatt Six? Are we pronouncing it the Wyatt Sick6? Because it's the word sick plus the number 6. So are they the Wyatt Sick6? I don't know. It's kind of a tongue twister. Second biggest question we have is, who are behind all the masks? Now, I don't remember all the Firefly Funhouse characters. I was obviously very much into the story when it was happening, but I feel like all of that kind of like escaped my brain, and I haven't really done the deep dive into like all the characters. But the consensus from fans are that Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. The bunny character is Eric Rowan, who I'm so happy is back with the WWE because I've always been a big fan of his character. I think he plays that like menacing evil character really well. And then the other two masked men are believed to be Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy. Now, I remember Dexter Lumis a couple times being on television. I don't really remember too much about his characters. I don't think he ever even talked much when we saw him. And Joe Gacy, I was told, was from NXT. I don't really watch NXT, so I don't really know much about him. But a lot of people were saying that his character was very much like a new potential Bray Wyatt character, which I guess would fit perfectly for his role. Now, the next question is the most obvious out of all of them. We saw 5 characters. We saw the Nikki Cross character, and we saw the 4 guys. Who is the 6th character? Now, I have 2 theories on this myself personally. Number 1 theory is that Bray Wyatt's spirit is the 6th character. That lantern, basically, that he was holding was kind of like, that is Bray Wyatt in spirit being there. And every time they come out with the Fireflies, that's kind of like calling out for Bray Wyatt. When they're going to start doing supernatural stuff, it's Bray Wyatt from up above who's going to do the supernatural stuff. My second theory is they haven't converted a 6 member yet. My second theory is that they're planning on recruiting someone to be a 6 character, maybe somebody they control, kind of like the Randy Orton of the group, where they go out and get like a massive main event player like a Drew McIntyre, a Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, somebody in that type of realm, and they take them and turn them into like the human normal character version of the Wyatt family. And on to the most important question out of all of this. Are they heels or are they faces? Now, I asked this during my live, and everyone seemed to say that they're gonna have to be heel characters, right? They're evil looking. They just destroyed the whole entire locker room, what looked like, on the ground. People were even suspecting that these were members of the main roster. I don't think they were. I know a few of them look like, one of them looked like Carmelo Hayes, one of them looked like Gunther, one of them looked like Braun Strowman. I do think they were all like either enhancement talent or like NXT people. So I don't think any of them were like real members of the roster. But like everyone's like, if they took out all those people, they got to be bad guys. But what bad guy takes out another bad guy in the way that they did, right? The way I look at it is Chad Gable is now officially a heel. His own people left him, and these guys kind of came in and took care of it. So are they going to be like the cleansers? Are they going to be like the good guys that like anytime something bad happens, they come in and save them? Kind of like if you're old enough or you ever read about when Sting was on WCW, like he would always, you know, come and attack the NWO when they were doing bad stuff. Like if the Judgment Day jump Rey Mysterio when he's by himself again, or Dragon Lee when he's by himself, are all of a sudden the light's going to go out, these guys are going to beat him up, and then Uncle Howdy comes out and blows out the lantern again. You know, like which direction are they going to go with these guys? The next massive question I personally have is Uncle Howdy going to wrestle? Are any of these characters' idea of them is for them to have matches? Are they going to go and be a tag team with the guys of it? Is Uncle Howdy going to go for a world heavyweight championship, or, you know, is he going to try to take the IC title? Like, what is the idea behind this group? Are they here to be, you know, imposing figures on the locker room, or are they here to be these actual members of the roster who are here to wrestle every week? I think that WWE has a massive opportunity to cook with what might be one of the greatest potential factions in terms of production and entertainment that we've ever seen. I believe the idea for the Wyatt Six is for them to keep building this kind of mystique and character up until Netflix, where they're going to have an unlimited potential for production quality and entertainment that we have never seen before. What we saw in this debut was what I believe is the future of WWE in terms of entertainment. I do not think we've ever seen this level of production and entertainment since, honestly, the Thunderdome era, where this is all they could do. And we actually saw it on live television. I believe this group is going to open up doors and open up opportunities for really what this next generation is talking about, how it's going to be a revolutionary type generation. And I'm very happy with the way they started this. Do I think it took a little long for them to get here? For sure. Was it worth the wait? 1,000,000%. Now, I do want to give WWE the credit where the credit is due. I am very, very proud of the way that they handle this. I am very, very proud of the way they introduce this to the audience. And I'm very, very proud to be a fan of professional wrestling right now, where we move into this generation of awesome storytelling and awesome production. And I am very excited to see what the Wyatt Six ends up doing in this, you know, new world of professional wrestling. And with that being said, I want to ask you guys a big question here. Do you guys think that the Wyatt Six are going to be face or heels? And who do you think is next for the Wyatt Six? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment anything you want to say, any ideas you have for the Wyatt Six. And make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the future videos. With that being said, I want to say I love each and every single one of you guys. Peace.